and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Lori-Lydia Loveless. Tonight we have a fantastic show for you. If you're a fan of the show Rock Solid Builds, we have Randy Spracklin in the studio to talk about the upcoming season. And of course, if you're interested about ATV safety, we have Rick Noseworthy from Avalon Trailways to talk about that. It's going to be a good one. We'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back. Now we're here with a very special guest. We have host Randy Spracklin with Rock Solid Builds on HGTV. Randy, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
And you know, I have to say, I'm a big fan of the show. I watch it all the time, and you're heading into season 3.
We are.
And how has that been for you?
Been great. Been a little while coming, but happy for everyone to actually get to see it this Sunday coming. So definitely tune in.
That's excellent. And you know, Randy, how has it been for you getting into this business and then turning it into a TV show?
Well, it was one of those things getting into the carpenter world. Is my father and grandfather always was building houses in Brigus, always doing odd jobs, and it's something that I didn't want to do, and then all of a sudden I did get into it, and back to in 2008 is when I jumped full steam ahead. And about 4 years ago now is when the show reached out. So funny enough, I got an email in my junk mail.
Wow.
And they were looking for an East Coast show. It was first time this side of Toronto. So they shot a sizzle. We were a hit. HGTV Canada loved it. Gave us the first season. We were #1 new season that year. Wow.
And so was this always something that you wanted to do, like, get your business on TV?
It's something we joked about. Yeah. We love having a good time, as you know. Yes. We love the projects that we're doing. We always joked about, if we had a film crew following us. And then when I got that email, it was 2 production companies actually reached out at that time. And I was like, hey, give it a shot. Why not?
That's right. And, with your carpentry business, I have to say it's really fulfilling to see that, your grandfather and your father, and now you are living this legacy. So how does it feel that you can continue on with this legacy in the carpentry world?
It feels pretty humbling, and it feels great. To be able to drive through Brigus, there's a lot of homes or historical properties that we touched, like the bell tower on the St. George's Church. Me, my grandfather, and my father worked on it. So something that is a staple of Brigus is going to be there for many years to come, and my kids now are able to look at it and maybe one day be able to work on it as well. So it's a great feeling driving through the town and be able to say, I touched that place, touched that base.
And you're from beautiful Brigus, of course.
I am. I'm born and raised, still living there myself.
That's amazing that you can, incorporate where you're from and elements of Newfoundland into your episodes.
It is. Newfoundland, we got such a great, culture. We got a lot of, even historical or architectural features that is a staple to Newfoundland. So to be able to show that off to the rest of Canada, to the rest of the world is pretty awesome. So what can we expect from season 3? Season 3 brings a lot of shenanigans. We're having a good time with the project. So we went actually to Central this year and did like a rowing competition. So a little tidbit, me and Nikki were teamed up together, so you have to watch out and see what kind of bets we made. And then we got lovely projects. We did a chicken coop, and this ain't no normal chicken coop. We got wallpaper on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's the Cadillac or the cribs of chicken coops. And we did like a fishing stage. We did a kitchen renovation, you know, a new home. And we also, at the last episode, we did a full restoration on a hall in Brigus, which is now our cafe that's open, Vindicator Press.
Oh, wow. So why don't we take a second now and have a look at the trailer for season 3.
You might be asking yourself, what's so special about Newfoundland?
The pace is a little slower.
Not every day you're lifting a chicken coop over the trees.
There's lots of inspiration and boatloads of color.
It's Newfoundland. All the color is out here.
Gorgeous. They say we got a unique charm.
Burger and fries.
We love this place, and everything we build is solid as a rock.
Rock Solid Builds. New season Sunday, September 1st on HGTV. Stream on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Wow, that was great, and I'm really looking forward to it coming up. And you know, I do have to ask, how long does it normally take for you to film a season?
It really depends on the project. They are following the puck, so you know, we have weather delays, we have material delays, so it really bases on that. But you can anywhere from 6 to 8 months.
Wow, and you know, you have a full crew, and so can we expect the same cast members or new faces for this upcoming season?
You'll see all the same cast members, and you might even see a few new faces.
Nice. I have to tell you, I love Nikki. I think she's fabulous, and she's breaking the stereotypical norms for this industry, and she's so funny. I love the banter.
Yeah, we definitely have a good laugh. You know, me and her kind of knew each other before the whole construction kind of thing, so a lot of people think we're related because of the last name, but we're no relations at all.
That was my next question, actually.
Yeah, we're not related at all, so distantly the Spracklin family, and but yeah, she's definitely a hard worker and a good laugh as well. So,
you know, I love all the designs and, you know, all the craftsmanship. So how do you come up with creating your designs for the renovations?
You know, you'll see Sam and Sasha will be coming in with a lot of designs, and then some of it is just the love for what I love with Newfoundland, and I love Newfoundland architecture and trying to, you know, sometimes when you're trying to keep the old and bringing in the new and keeping the new looking like the old, and yeah, it's just, sometimes it's just whatever comes off the top of your head.
That's great. And so how do you pick the projects that you want to include on your shows?
Usually they're reaching out to us, our construction company, Newfound Builders, and if you were wanting us to do a project, if it so happened that we're starting to film, they will come and ask, do you want to be part of the whole filming experience? And then they will actually, you know, figure out what that may look like, and then after that is them following the puck.
And they have budgets and things to keep in mind, I guess, do they?
Yeah, they do have budgets. Again, a lot of it is real life scenarios, right. But the show do bring other aspects to it. So when you are part of the whole film part of it, it's us actually doing the work, but there is, you know, some behind the scene things that you got to figure out with the TV show and wanting to be on TV as well.
That's right. So what's been some of the biggest challenges that you've had, you know, through your projects or through your renovations on the show?
The biggest challenges is always like Newfoundland. You know, we got sunshine most days, and then sometimes we get that unexpected rainstorm, snowstorm, and we still got a job to do. And with the filming, we only got such a short time that we need to have it done. And then, you know, we are living on the island, so there's only 2 ways to get stuff here. And as you know, that's the delay as well. So we just go with the punches, and you got to do what you got to do to get the job done. So
I have to tell you, one of my favorite episodes is when the renovations that you did actually on your own house and helped your wife with her project room. So tell us a little bit what that was like for you to have your own house featured.
Well, you know, when you're doing anything in your own house, you're not only the worker, you're the client. So a lot of times, and you're the designer, you're everything. And trying to balance 2 kids and a business and trying to get your own projects done. It was a little bit, but we managed to get through it. Melissa loved it, and hey, we did it again, because this season you're going to see us renovate a full hall cafe. Oh, wow, that's amazing. And so I will have to ask you, what's one of your favorite projects or designs that you've ever worked on the show and I guess throughout? Probably the favorite project from the show was the Make-A-Wish, just because, you know, it hits home. We have kids, and I gotta say, any kind of projects that we're all working on a team, or I can say me and, you know, my old man or my grandfather, is something that, you know, I talk to my kids all the time about it.
And, you know, seeing your dad and you working together, what's that like?
You know, it's great to look back. But
I laughed. He made the comment. He said the only difference between us is patience, and I laughed.
The end goal be the same, but how we get there, sometimes he's a little bit old school, I'm a little bit new school, so we don't see eye to eye all the times, but yeah, it's a good time.
That's great. And you know, I love one thing that you do in every episode. You incorporate Newfoundland culture, and I remember when the episodes we were watching, like, you know, you were talking about the ugly stick and you had pea soup. So how is it, you know, for you to incorporate Newfoundland culture into your episodes?
Well, Newfoundland, again, being born and raised in Brigus, Newfoundland, and having a lot of, you know, like you say, the pea soup, the jigs dinner, you know, the ugly stick, a lot of that stuff. So bringing the show, them following us, we're doing nothing different. So to have a kitchen party or have a big jigs dinner with all the family and stuff, feels good because a lot of people all over the world are watching it, and be honest with you, they're coming and wanting to experience, you know, the Newfoundland culture, which I think is awesome and great to be able to show off. So yeah, it's good to be able to show it on the TV and let other people see what we're like.
And you know, you're also educating those that aren't familiar with Newfoundland as well. Definitely
educating, and you know, the backdrops, the scenery and stuff, people want to come and visit, and you don't know how many people are actually relocating here because they've seen it on the show.
That's right. And you know, you're, like you said, you're a family man. You have such a beautiful family. So how do you juggle, you know, being an entrepreneur, business owner, TV host, and a family man all at once?
It's just a lot of juggling, but you need to have time for the family, and you need to have time for the business, but you need to have a lot of good people to be able to help you doing all them jobs, and then you're able to create, you know, having a family, entrepreneur, all of it all into one. So having a great team helps big time.
And speaking of your team, what's your cast like, you know, on and off screen?
It's no different on or off screen, to be honest with you. Off screen maybe is a few more curse words. Other than that, it's all the same.
No, it seems like you guys had such a great, you know, working relationship. I mean, you're together all the time. So what's that been for you?
Yeah, we're all together. And funny enough, some of our team members, I knew them ever since I was younger. Like Harv been a part of, you know, he lives in Brigus. He grew up in Brigus, and he was always my old man and their buddies growing up. So all of our team members, we kind of knew each other some way or shape or form. So yeah, it's a good laugh, and we know that when we got to go do a job, and we can have a good time as well.
So what other things can we expect from season 3?
A whole lot of fun stuff. We actually went to Labrador this year.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
So you can see us go across here. That's something different, and first time going to Labrador with the show. And yeah, it's cool projects. I don't want to spoil too much. You have to tune in.
No, so we got to watch that, right? And so will you continue filming, you think, for the foreseeable future?
I am hoping that we're going to have a season 4. There's nothing green light yet. Yeah. There is some talks about it, so fingers crossed, you know, put out them good thoughts that we'll be back filming again, and maybe I'll be here sitting again next year.
Hopefully, you know. And so where can our viewers, you know, watch your show or even reach out to you about other projects?
So if you want to tune in the show, see like season 1 and 2, you can go on Stack TV on the global app. Tune in this September the 1st, this Sunday coming at 10 Eastern time to watch season 3. And if you're looking for a project, yeah, reach out to us at Newfound Builders.
That's great. And do you have any advice for someone that wants to get into this industry?
To get into the film or the building?
Both. Let's do both. Yes.
Both. Get into the building. We definitely need people in the building world. Yes. So if you're either bit interested, you know, reach out. We're glad to kind of guide your way. And if you want to get into filming, just check your junk mail, I suppose.
That's incredible, Randy. And like you said, you've inspired so many people, and so many people love your show. So, you know, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And we'll be right back after this message. and welcome back. Today I have with me Rick Noseworthy with Avalon Trailway Association. So Rick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for getting us in.
And you know, you do such wonderful things by educating, you know, the public and with, you know, ATV safety. So tell us a little bit about your organization and your role within the organization.
Well, we started in 1999, and when we started then, we were pretty much an ATV club. And as time went on, we noticed, of course, you know, there was a lot of safety issues, and there was no one really speaking for safety at the time. And back in the day, there was an organization called CATV, and that's morphed into Moto Canada now. But anyway, they supported us going away to become safety instructors. So a couple of members of Avalon Trailways we became safety instructors, and then we did a little bit of media training, and then of course when there's ATV crashes, then we felt a little bit more qualified to speak on behalf of the industry and speak to the crashes. And it sort of went from there, and of course we've been busy ever since, doing more so the safety than the riding.
So how important is it to get that message out to those who avail of ATV usage?
It's very important. We go to, we're averaging, it's probably 150 schools getting out and getting into the classrooms talking. And, there's times it's frustrating because you'll be into a school and you leave and you'll hear there was a crash in the area. But, we always say we only got to get to one. If we can save one, we've done our job.
And like you said, you go to many schools throughout the year and educate about ATV safety. So tell us a bit about those presentations in the schools.
Yeah, well, that started a few years ago when the RCMP auxiliary force were tasked to do some safety things within the community. And a few of the constables came to myself and asked, because I trained those guys in ATV safety, and they asked would I be interested. And it started, and we forged a good friendship and a good partnership, and it works great. They're a good partner. Obviously, they give my organization credibility. When you can go to a school with an RCMP officer, that makes a big difference, as opposed to just knocking on the door and say, hey, I'm a safety guy. So it works well for both organizations, I hope.
And, what type of reaction are you getting from the kids in schools?
It's good. It's good. It starts off, they're always a bit leery, and when you're asking names, of course, and you're there with a Mountie, they think you're there to arrest them. But we break the ice with them. Now, some grades 4 and 5 and 6, they're great. They're participants. But once you get into the higher levels, they're a little bit shyer. Yeah. It's not cool to talk to you. But we had a grant, the Yamaha Stay Outdoors grant, and we managed to get some bling out of that. They'd give away like something as simple as a pair of sunglasses with the Yamaha on the side, and you'd be in a classroom and no one would make eye contact with you, no one would talk to you. You'd get them to answer a question, you give them a pair of sunglasses, and then for the rest of the day, everybody got their hands up and they're chasing you around the school. So you're a bit of you're a bit of a rock star then for a while. So that worked out well for us. And
so you mentioned on the Stay Outdoors grant. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how that's been beneficial for you and your organization? Yeah, well, Yamaha has been a big supporter of us, along with Moto Canada. They're the motorized parts, of course, and they've been big supporters. Yamaha gives us a demo vehicle that we use in our education and we use in doing trail stuff and all that. And this grant that he gave us enabled us to go out and buy helmets, chest protectors, riding equipment that we gave away to the schools. So once again, Atlantic Recreation is our main group here because, of course, we're based on the Avalon there here. But Taylor's Recreation were good. Anyway, all Yamaha bought in, and it worked really well. Like a pair of sunglasses or a wristband went a long way when you're trying to break the ice with teenagers. And so what are you seeing the current stats for ATV accidents? Has it been on the rise or is it stagnant? How's that been for our province? Well, any stat, you can manipulate and look at it. The problem is we know there's a problem. The stats, like one of the stats that when you look down through it, impaired is incredible. Yes. We can look at a situation, it looks like 40%
of all crashes, got some level of impairment. Now, are the stats a little bit full? Like, is it 40% alcohol? Does that count someone who's not wearing a helmet, who's operating outside an approved area, and who's impaired? So there's no question that we have to do better. An interesting stat that I saw the other day was 30% of all crashes reported to the State Health Science Center are off-road vehicles. And then there's an interesting stat. They said of the 15 to 19 year-olds, that's supposed to be the bulletproof group. It's, I believe they said it was 23%. Now, they say, wow, 23%. The part that I found more alarming is the other 77% is us, the mature operators, the people who should know better. And that could even go higher, because there's a percentage of children under the age of 16 getting injured. That's our responsibility too. And what I'm seeing, we're not doing our job as an ATV community, and we've been called out, and we have to do better.
And you had mentioned that you're implementing a new system for a specific school this year. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, yeah, it worked. We don't know how it's going to go. And
it's always trial and error.
Oh yeah, well we're definitely doing that part. Holy Cross School in Holyrood, through Tyrone Power, has reached out, and we've talked before about this mandatory training that's coming up, and we're going to go into that school. And we're going to, talk to the kids about all the questions that's on the test, because from what I gather, the minimum, I guess the training, the online training is 15 questions, but the questions come from a pool of, I believe, about 45 questions. So the computer randomly generates questions. So we got to find a way around that, because if you're doing it with a bunch of kids, one kid could get 12 fairly easy questions, or 15 easy questions. The other person could get 15 hard ones. So we got to work around that. But he's willing to put the time in, and we certainly are too. So we're hoping to perfect it there and then move on.
And of course, Minister Loveless enforced on October 1st, the new laws and regulations to do those online tests, and it's free, of course. So how do you feel about that? Do you think that's going to impact our safety laws?
Well, it's a step in the right direction. Of course, being in the world of safety, we think it should be hands-on, but logistically, that's hard to do. What we like about this is that it's minimum, it's a step in the right direction, it opens the conversation. Like, we've challenged kids over the summer to sit down with your parents, and parents sit down with your kids and start the conversation, open the test, and we jokingly say to the kids, can you imagine if you get a higher score than your mom and dad?
Because it starts from home. Once you see your parents or your elders, doing the right thing, you're going to follow in their footsteps usually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we see that, because when we see, kids on these bikes, it's not, I don't want to give them a free ride, but it's not their fault. They're only being a kid.
Right.
What would you do at 14 years old if somebody gave you? You're not going to say, no, mom and dad, that's too dangerous.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it. It's up to the parent. So it's very important, and they got to send a message through the whole process. Many times, we'll see a child on an ATV, and he's geared up with the full gear, and here's dad, either on the back, which is wrong, or going behind him with his hat on backwards and a pair of flip-flops and no protection.
Right.
The message that that's sending, it's not cool when you're old to wear a helmet.
So how can people get in touch with you to either, learn more, educate themselves, or even get a presentation from you?
They can contact us through Avalon Trailways, and they can also get us at, I believe it's Rick Noseworthy at trailway.ca.
So what would be some good advice or, safety tips that you could recommend to our viewers today?
Well, of course, the given is always wear a helmet, wear a seatbelt. And remember, these ATVs, it's a family sport. They're not babysitters. Supervise your children. You get involved. If they go to soccer, you go to every game. If they go to hockey, you go to every practice and every game. Why do you put them on a machine and send them out by themselves?
That's good. And myself, I'm an avid ATV user, and we always practice safety when we use our ATVs. So, being a part of this organization, what does that mean for you personally?
Well, I enjoy it. It feels like, we give back to it ever since I've been around these things, or anything. I've been a motorhead my whole life. I started on a snowmobile. I'm old enough to be, to outdate even trikes, or but you started, and I loved it, and we use it as a family sport. We have a summer home that we still have in Deer Park, and I went off with my dad, and now I take my grandchild, and we train him in a pretty good way. I got a key, a fob that I can shut off his machine right away. We started on the lawn of our cabin. Now I bring him over in the seminary, the old prison fields, and set up there, and he does the course and he rides around. But the key, it's supervision, and it's a family sport.
And having these regulations and instructors like yourself to help is so important. So Rick, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after the short break.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Thanks for joining us for another great episode of Out of the Fog. So be sure to check out the new season of Rock Solid Builds, and if you're interested in more ATV safety, you can go to Avalon Trailways Facebook page for more information. Until next time, much love.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
Sports fans know Sundays are for football. That's why you need NFL Sunday Ticket. With NFL Sunday Ticket, Rogers customers get every live game, every Sunday afternoon, all season long. Follow your favorite teams and players live in HD. Order NFL Sunday Ticket and get up to 200 regular season games. Rogers Ignite TV customers say NFL into your voice remote.
Here are 3 reasons why your social strategies should include Rogers TV. Reason number 1 is we have hyper-local audiences. The community TV channel gives you a chance to engage with people where you live, so you really get to know your neighbors and they get to know you. Reason number 2 is we can help diversify your distribution. With social media, it's really important to be able to have a wider audience, and Rogers TV can actually help complement your online presence by delivering to a different audience. And it's actually really easy to repurpose your existing content or to just create new material specifically tailored for community TV. And finally, reason number 3 is we can help enhance your credibility and your trust. And by aligning your brand with Rogers TV, you can tap into that trust that viewers have. This can boost your reputation, especially among viewers who favor local businesses and value community involvement. 1, 2, 3. It's that easy to build your local audience with Rogers TV.
This fall on Rogers TV, we'll be airing your RNC Compassion in Action.